Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to show you how to use Astra's header and footer builder. So let's say we have our website here, and we used a starter template, or we want to make some changes to our header and footer over here. So let's go ahead and do that, either by clicking on Customize over here, or heading over to our dashboard, hovering over Astra, and clicking on Customize. Okay, and well, let's start out with using the header builder. Over here on the left sidebar, let's click on that. Okay, so we're here on the header builder, and let's start off with how the controls work. So we have our header over here, and we have these three levels. And in each of these levels have names. This one is above header, this one is primary header, and this one is below header. Now, depending on the page that you're viewing, you could enable or disable this on that page's settings. If you wanted to make, or disable the header altogether, that is, depending on if you wanted your users to be able to see more content and less of your site. All right. Next, they all have sections over here. You can see 1, 2, 3, and we can change the background color and the spacing and everything, and how tall each one is. If I made this a bit bigger and refreshed it, okay, you can see that this middle header here is now really wide, really tall, and you can also configure it depending on your mobile device, if you're on a mobile device or not. We can add a bottom border, and we can change the background and bottom border color. Let's refresh our site. Okay, and you can see now we have a background color and we have a border. Let's change this to gray, just so it's easier to see. And you can also adjust the padding and margins depending on if our text over here is, our text or our images are too far inside. Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves here. We know how to adjust the background colors for each one of these levels, but how about adjusting the content inside? So it's really easy, you just have to drag and drop things. So we have a secondary menu over here, and let's configure the color of this. Let's make it red. All right. And then we can just drag and drop our cart over here to the middle as well, if we wanted to do that. But keep in mind that there's going to be spacing here. We can drag and drop our account over onto the left-hand side. And we have other options as well. So if you're on Astra free version, you won't have as many options. If you're on Astra Pro, you get like extra widgets and stuff. It also depends on the theme you're using. Sometimes the themes don't allow you to use a certain kind of widget or certain amount of widgets because it would take up too much space. Okay, so if we wanted to add a button, for instance, or yeah, let's add a button over here. It's there, and we can drag and drop it on the upper right-hand side and be there. And all of these are basically widgets, and we can configure them any which way we want. So let's remove this account one here. Let's remove our secondary menu, and let's go about configuring a very simple header. So we have our site title and logo. We can click on each one of the elements that we have on here, and we can change the logo. We can make the logo smaller or larger. We can enable or disable our tagline and our site title. Okay, and then they're over here. You can't see them because the text is the same color as the background. So let's go ahead with title color, and then the tagline will be this. All right. And once we refresh it, this should be orange. Should be. There we go. And when we highlight it, it's white. And then we can also change the spacing depending on where we want it. See? Okay. Next, we can go ahead and change our menu here. Now, we made this mega menu in a different video. Now, let's go ahead and make it an ordinary menu. All right, so we can set it to primary menu, and we can edit it. Okay, so we have product catalog, smartphones, and then we can just add items like home, blog, contact, about, right? And we can reorder these. All right, sorry about that. WordPress just crashed on me. So let's go about that one more time. We can add our other pages here and shop. Okay. Oh, well, that's the same thing, isn't it? And we can put this up top here. And we can take a look at how it looks like now. It's all here, and we should see that we have a subcategory here. Let's put this underneath home. All right. And with our menu configured, we can add animations and stuff. So we have our submenu, we have our menu hover style, so we can, oh, let's refresh it. And you can see that there's an animation, underline, overline, and we also have submenu animations like slide down, slide up, and fade. Okay, and we can also change the border widths and change it however we want. We can also change the other options there. But one thing is that it's hard to see our text over here. So let's go ahead and change the color real quick. Let's make it white. And when we hover over it, turns orange. Okay, that looks about right. And we can move this a bit. Actually, no, we can move this to the center, and it would be much easier to use. And let's make the height of our, 30. Sounds about right. And let's make this inline. There we go. And then now we can add some more spacing over here. 10. Is that enough? Well, let's refresh it, see how that looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good. So once we're happy with that, we can publish and take a look at our new header. And we can move on to our footer. Okay, once it's done uploading, once it's done publishing, we can refresh and we can see we have a brand new, very sleek header over here. And now let's tackle the footer. Okay, so we're back on the customizer. And if we scroll down here on the left sidebar, we have the footer builder. And it takes us to our footer. And just like the header builder, we have a bunch of blocks and options here. Now let's go ahead and change the background color, if we can, from here. Design, nope. Primary footer, and design. There we go, background. And we can make it gray. And we can refresh our site just so that it's easier to see. And it should be gray now. There we go. And one key difference with the footer is that, well, one, we also have our above, primary, and below. And we can click on the gear icons. And we can assign a bunch of columns. So right here, our above footer isn't being used. And let's take a look at our primary one here. And there are 3 columns. And you can see the layout here. We have a few different ones to choose from. And let's go ahead and click on these. See how it looks like. Okay. And you can see the spacing changes. If we go to this one, watch what happens to this rightmost block here. Okay, it gets longer. And then what happens if we choose this middle one? What happens if we choose this other one? Okay, it's about the same, I think, but I think this one's a bit more full width. So let's go with this one, and let's configure everything else. So we also have our inner elements, which are these. If we click on inline, watch what happens to our lists, our menus over here. Right? And we can choose to make it full width or content width. Okay, let's put it back to stack. And we can also align everything. We can justify things left, middle, or right. Okay, and let's see how that looks like. Okay, and we can also enable or disable this on our different devices to make it more responsive, because sometimes if you try to put it on a mobile device, it just like gets squished. But on this theme, because Astra is very responsive, it looks just all right. So we can leave that as is. We can leave it enabled. And what else can we do here that would help us build our own footer? Well, on the footer, you can add a whole bunch of other widgets. Well, we have widgets for the header as well, but let's take a look at adding and configuring some. So we have this over here, which is widget number 4. And just like a sidebar or any block, we can choose to change our media here from the starter demo ones to our own branding. And then we can change our other menu over here. Right? We have a menu over here, and we can change what it's called. Right? And we can also change our social media icons over here. Actually, what's this one? Widget 3. Right? If we didn't want these, we can just remove them. Okay? And then for our one over here, we can go ahead and delete these just to make it cleaner. And if we wanted to, we could put our social right there. Probably best to leave it underneath. And since we only have 3 now, we can split it to 3 and see how that looks like. Or actually, maybe this one might be a bit better. Okay, so there's our header. And now for this one, the bottom one, we can't actually read it either. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. And just change the background color to gray as well. And also here on the top, on our top one. Oh, this isn't even, yes. So you'll see here that we have our header here, our above header, and you'll see if we put our social media icons, watch what happens. There's another there's another layer over here, and how many can we do here? Let's make it just one big one, and these should be in the middle, if possible. There we go. And we can add these and make the icons a bit bigger. There we go, and then space them out a bit. And you'll see that we now have 3 different levels of our footer over here. And you'll notice that featured brands and this space here, and there's some invisible icons here that we can't see because it's not actually part of the footer. Basically, anything above this black, above footer over here, is part of the site, the page itself. So you'd have to edit it on the site editor, the block editor. So anything from the black below is our footer. So once we're happy with that, we can publish our new footer. And keep in mind that all of these widgets, you can freely edit and customize as you want. If you click this plus icon, you can add basically any block that you want. An image, a heading, a quote, a paragraph, a YouTube video, you name it. Okay? So just to keep it simple, we just have a simple footer over here. And now we have our new header here and our new footer. So, if you found this video useful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.